Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to video number 4 of screen printing on a budget. Today we're going to learn how to make our screens using Oracal 651 as positive, so don't go anywhere. If you don't happen to have a printer to create your positives, positives is that, that clear paper that we print our stuff in. If you don't have that, you can actually use Oracal 651. I'm not going to show you the part where I cut this because we all use different types or different types of plotters. For example, I use the plotter. Some of you might be using a Cricut or a Silhouette. So however you can cut the vinyl, that part is all up to you. Again, I'm not going to show you that, but I am going to show you how to apply this onto the screen and make your own screens. There you go. There's another way where you can actually create a negative of your vinyl and then stick it onto a screen that doesn't have any emotion, and you can print right through the vinyl. I didn't want to do that because I got small lettering. And when you have small lettering like that, sometimes they'll come off, and it's a pain in the neck. But if you have big letters like this one, you can, by all means, you can use a piece of vinyl, and then instead of having the letters, just have the negative part where you remove the letters and keep the vinyl. Stick that on a screen that doesn't have emotion, and you can use it as a stencil like that. So basically creating a stencil, right? So one other thing that you need to make sure whenever you're using this method is that whenever you cut your vinyl, make sure you cut the vinyl in mirror. Don't cut it like we normally do because it won't work. Unless you're making heat transfers, then yeah, leave it like it is. Don't cut it in mirror and everything will work just fine. But anyways, so what you're gonna need a screen, right? Because we're doing a screen. We're gonna create this or make this screen right here. So another thing that you're gonna need, but don't worry if you don't have one, it's a T-square. If you don't have one, just use a measuring tape so you can center everything out just like that, right? So as you see me, I got my the part that's gonna go on the front, and then I got what's gonna go on the back. I'm just gonna make sure that everything is nice and straight because we don't want it to be all crooked. And the measurements, they don't really matter if you can adjust your plan. If you can adjust it, just make sure that you can actually work with it. So in this case, I'm gonna raise this up a little bit. And make sure that you have it somewhat in the center and straight, just like that. So once you have it positioned where you want it, put a piece of tape so it doesn't move on you. And I put this tape on the wrong side. I'm gonna put it on the top side because I'm gonna flip it like this so I can start applying it. If you wanna do more than one, it's actually better. Or if you wanna get a whole strip of tape and put it all the way across like so. Basically what I'm creating right now, it's a hinge. So the tape is gonna come back up, or the vinyl is gonna come back up like this, and then I'm gonna start applying it that way. Also notice that I have a lot of excess right here. I was gonna use that. You can use that as, instead of putting this tape, you can use this side. So just so you know. Another thing you're gonna need is a squeegee. If you don't have a squeegee like this, it don't have to be something like this. Something that you can apply the vinyl with. Yeah, I've seen people using credit cards or one of those cards, gift cards, whatever it is that you can apply your vinyl with. So since I'm not gonna use this, I'm gonna remove it, but I left it there just in case if I needed it. So now we're gonna go ahead and apply this. I'm gonna remove the carrier. Just be careful because sometimes sometimes the letters or your graphics, whatever it is that you're going to be applying, gets stuck to the carrier. Like see, like in this case, see how that is actually not sticking. Just make sure that everything comes back up or comes off. Just like that. Remove the carrier, and then right now we're going to start applying it. So this hand right here is just holding it, no pressure. And then just like so, okay? And come back and put a little more pressure, but not too much pressure. And now we can remove the application. Right now I'm removing the tape. If you can, because this one's already stuck. Oh, there you go. So I'm removing the tape that I used to hold the application tape, and now I'm gonna remove the application tape. Just being careful that that my vinyl doesn't lift up and that it stays behind, right? Just like that. So, oh, I made it. I never make it in the trash can. So just like that. So some of you are going to say, hey, what happened there? You didn't cover that. I know I didn't cover that. So I guess I am going to use some tape this time. So that's exactly how you want it. The vinyl is already stuck to our screen. That's going to become our positive to create a negative. But if you notice, it's in mirror. You can't see it because you're supposed to be able to see it from this side, because that's what you printed. If you don't cut it in mirror, your stencil is going to be backwards. So instead of creating a stencil for your shirts, you're actually going to be creating a stencil for heat transfers. So if you want to create heat transfers, then just cut this the right way, you know, without being mirror. And whenever you go to print, it will be backwards. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to expose the screen. Same thing that we did on the last video, where we were, not the last video, but the video before last video, where we were burning the screen. I'm going to be burning the screen, but remember how I was holding the UV light for like 30 seconds? First I did 10 seconds. You guys didn't see that because the camera stopped recording. Then I did a 30 second. And 30 seconds seemed to work okay, but because of that light, even though it's a 100 watt, it's not strong enough. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually do it for closer to a minute and a half to make sure that the screen actually grabs on, or actually exposes correctly. Now, because this is vinyl and it's stuck directly to the screen, you do not need a glass. You know how on the other ones I put a piece of glass on top? You don't need a glass because there's nothing lifting up. The only reason why we put a piece of glass is so that the positive won't lift up, creating little gaps where the light can get in. This one is stuck to it, so you don't need a glass. So let's expose this and see how it works. Okay, so here we are at the washout booth, or the sink that I made into a washout booth. And remove this. This is the other screen that we were working with. So first thing you want to do is wet the back side of it. That way the emulsion will start releasing, and the numbers will start coming off. Not right away. Sorry guys, this is gonna get very loud. Actually, I'm gonna put some music in the background, but just get it wet. This sucks. This really sucks. So right now, it's very cold right now. Oh, this sucks. Dang it. So, dang, that sucks. My lines are actually frozen. That's not gonna work. Yeah. Let me. Yeah, that's funny. So right now it's really cold, and I guess my lines are frozen. Let me show you how cold it is today. I'm at 27 degrees. Freezing temperature is 32, or freezing point is 32. So we're way below freezing point at 27. There you go. I'm getting a little bit of pressure. There it is. The screen made with Oracal 651, and like you notice, I was using black vinyl, and the vinyl that I was using is actually matte black. You can use regular black. The only reason why I use matte black is because that's what I had on the machine, so on the plotter. So I just went ahead and used it. And then what I do is I wipe, clean, or dry my screens. Just be careful, because if you didn't expose your screen correctly, when you do this, you can actually ruin your screen. As you can see, I mean, let me show you. This towel is pretty dirty already, so, but just be careful. And then once you remove most of the water, and if your towel is wet, please don't rub it, because if you rub it, you're gonna remove. Let me show you how crisp those lines are. See that? If I use a wet towel, I'm gonna mess up the jagged. I'm gonna make the edges kind of jagged. So now what I'm gonna do is actually just do this right here, and I usually, oh, you can see it. I usually just do this. And I usually hold it out to the light, because that way I can see where the water's at and dry that water out. I'm not going to show you that step because I will have to point the camera up and you guys can't see it. So there you go. The screen is dry. I dried the water out. Everything is ready to go. And again, look at that. So now what I'm going to do is either I put it on the rack. I will either put it on the rack, but on a cold day like today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it underneath the flash dryer so it'll dry quicker. And because I got to do this shirts right now, so we're going to make the video on actually making the shirts right now. So let's go dry this out underneath the flash dryer. So what I did is see, here's my flash dryer, and what I did is I just put it underneath the flash dryer. What that's going to do is the flash dryer will dry it slowly. And then by the time that it's ready, I'm gonna get my shirts and everything ready to print them. And in the meantime, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my plan ready. So I'm gonna clean it, because I really didn't want to use that water-based glue. So I'm gonna remove that glue. And before I put the tape back in there, I wanna draw my lines, because I need those lines. Now when I applied the dual tack palette tape, I can see my lines right through it. I can center my artwork, make sure that everything is nice and square and in the center. And this is the dual tack palette tape that I'm using. If you notice inside, let's see if it'll focus, PMI, there you go, PMI tape. So this is called PMI dual tack palette tape. And now we're gonna apply this. And I'm gonna show you the way that I apply this. I actually use a squeegee for that. I'm gonna get rid of this. And the one I'm using right now is 15 inch. 15 inch by, I think it's 36 yards. There you go. So I usually apply it or measure that one end is nice and straight. Then I bring it over, but I don't bring it down all the way. And I start applying it with the squeegee. and then cut it with my knife. Just like that. You'll see some people, even the manufacturer, you'll see Andrew from PMI Pallet Tape, they'll apply it and then they go like this, with the roll. That doesn't work 100% because it leaves bubbles, and I don't like it. And if you use a squeegee, you can remove all the bubbles out. So now I'm gonna trim it. And basically what this is like a double-sided tape. That's basically what it is. Now what I like to do on the corners, I like to trim them off. I'll show you how much I took out. Let's see if it'll focus. But I'm just removing the corner. That's it. That's what I'm taking out. And the reason for that is whenever we're loading the shirts, they'll get caught on the corner and it'll remove the tape. So I usually cut them off or round them off. Okay, so now we gotta remove the carrier, the tape. I mean, not the tape, the carrier on the tape, which is just the paper. Just like that. So now all I gotta do is wait for my screen to dry completely, because it's almost dry. Let me show you. See, that part is already dry, but look at the corners. That's the only thing I gotta wait. And once it dries completely, we can start printing. Meantime, I'm gonna get my shirts ready. Like I said, it's only 12 of them, so it's not that many. Okay, so on t-shirts that have front and back, we always start with the front. And let me bring this up. If you see that X right there, that or the cross or whatever, that's where the center of my left chest is gonna be. So when I bring down my screen, I'm gonna line that to the center of my print. And that loud sound that you hear right there is my screen getting stuck to the plan. Okay, so once we have everything lined up exactly where we want it, we are now ready to print. I'm gonna grab our first t-shirt. And whenever we measure the 4 inches, they were measured from here, not from up here. But if you wanna up your design a little more, then you just bring your shirt up to the top part of the neck, and you will be just a little higher, which that will be completely fine. And then remember, when we print it with water base, you don't want to flood when the screen is down and touching the shirt. You want to flood up away from the shirt, flood it like that, and then either do a pull or a push. On water base, I like to do a push, and then again lift it up, flood it, and move your shirt over. Well, actually, because this is the first print, you want to inspect it for any pinholes or anything that you might think it's ruining the print. Like that one that's not a pinhole. That way you can cover those pinholes. Oops, I didn't tighten this up. That would have ruined everything up. Hopefully we don't ruin this first shirt because I moved it, but we'll see. So the first pass, we're gonna dry it for 7 to 10 seconds. The second one, you wanna dry it maybe 15, 20 seconds. That way, this is if you're using just a flash dryer like I am doing right now. So we bring it back, see nothing. And this being the second pass, we are gonna dry it a little longer. So that way we know that the entire ink is completely dry. Okay, so then we'll bring it back And see, I was able to get some of that ink. So send it back. And that was only like 10 seconds. So that's why we need to make sure that it stays there for about 15 to 20 seconds. Okay, so let's see what it looks like. And you do want to see that steam coming out. It's a good sign that the t-shirt is completely dry. That's it. Okay, so now we are ready to print, and this is going to be the back of the shirt. And again, remember, water-based, we have to flood first. And then flood so it doesn't dry up on the screen. I'm gonna mist a little bit of water. There you go, that's our first print. We're gonna flash that. We'll flash it for about 7 seconds. Bring it back, and then if you wanna do a test, you can check and make sure that you don't have any ink. And in this case, I do have just a little bit, so we're gonna send it back a little longer, then bring it back, and then we can do our second print. Just like that. And this is how you do screen printing on a budget with vinyl. And when the shirt comes out, it's gonna be steaming. So, but that's it, guys. This is how you do a screen, or how you will make a screen using Oracal 651, or just about any vinyl that you can find. Just make sure it's dark enough so the light doesn't go through whenever you're making your screen. It's very simple, very easy. If you guys don't have a printer to make your positives, this is a way of doing it. So thank you for watching, guys. This is it for this video. So stay tuned, guys, because the next video is going to be about reclaiming this screen so we can reuse it for another job. So don't go anywhere, guys. Again, the video will be coming up right after this video. Not like literally after, but probably the next day. So thank you, guys. Thank you for watching. It's a pleasure like always. If you have any questions, again, let me know in the comments below. If you guys want to use any of the items that I'm using in this video, check the description below. There will be a link for just about every item that I'm using here. Not all of them, but most of the items that I'm using here. If you have any questions, let me know. Guys, thank you. God bless you, and I will see you in the next one. See you later. Bye-bye now. Adios. I'm going to finish printing those shirts. Later.